they still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Don't run that ball on the one Hubbard, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Plus we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. And we always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say he open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Giuseppe in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi second year and we just brought Burton in. Vaughn back to ring some bells, get the cracking again.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. We're live here at the Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell Moerlein Lager House pregame experience. Woo! Everybody excited tonight or what? What we doing here?
Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, Ring of Honor game. Who day, baby? We got my boy Corey Dillon going in tonight. Got the belt here, which he forgot in the car, so we'll try to get that to him later. Also, Tim Krumrie is going in. If you guys want anything, drinks are over there, food's over there. Get whatever you want. I'm excited. I'm expecting us to be 1-2 tonight, right? Everybody else? Yeah, all right. If you don't think the Bengals are going to win, get out. All right? Bengals will win, right? Who day?
Who did?
All right, so Chandler, how are you feeling about this game so far with the 0-2 start? Unfortunately, that's a trend. We do that now. But we always get our, and yes, I always say we. But we usually get ourselves out of it. What's your thoughts?
Well, we're no strangers to an 0-2 start, and we were able to make it to a Super Bowl one time, if you guys remember, and an AFC Championship off of one of those. So I don't think we have anything to worry about, first of all. Second of all, they looked fantastic last week. A few calls go a little differently. I think we beat the Chiefs again.
Yeah, like non-pass interference call. Well, actually, no, let's bring that up here. All right, so did you see the Monday night game? Or the Sunday night game where they had the non-pass interference call against Atlanta
Last night?
Yeah,
I was asleep.
that was ridiculous. I mean, he was asleep. He literally pass interfered against Pitts. Did the exact same thing, or even worse than what happened last week. And of course, the Chiefs get the call, there was no call. And of course, they throw the flag on us when we do it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Well, pass interference is the least consistent call in the entire league. That's the next thing that they have to get figured out. If they don't figure out pass interference soon, some strict rules on you got to do this, you got to do this, got to do this. They have rules now, they just don't follow them. So let's get some strict rules and then actually decide and make it every single time, because that's a huge swing. You can have a 40-yard Hail Mary and then some guy just bumps into you, or for the Chiefs-Bengals game last week, for example, just a terrible pass. I mean, honestly, Patrick Mahomes did not throw a great pass. It was so floaty. And then they both had this jump into each other. And then they say, oh, well, there was contact, so that must mean pass interference. And no.
Of course, it's the Chiefs.
They have the same right to the ball.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
All right, so let's roll us around to the
discriminate.
The Commanders tonight. And I don't know about you, I'm pretty confident we're going to win. Like, I'll put it this way. If we play like we did last week, we're going to win every damn game for the rest of the year. I think all the way to the Super Bowl, go all the way to New Orleans.
I mean, that's true, but the Bengals tend to play down to bad teams and up to good teams.
Especially at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and it's worse at the beginning of the season. So that's my one worry today, is that although the Commanders aren't the worst team in the league, actually Jaden Daniels has looked pretty good, and the rest of the team,
he hasn't
honestly
thrown a touchdown yet, so
yeah, but for a rookie QB, I don't think he's been that bad. I don't think we should underestimate him.
Right.
But they're definitely in the lower half of the league for sure. And I don't want us to look like a lower half of the league team today. Tends to be the trend. So if they can stay out of that and they can keep on that track, keep on that momentum from last week, it's going to be a blowout. And I think no one's going to argue that.
And we got T. Higgins back tonight. He says he's 100%. Jamar Chase said in an interview with Ryan Clark, he hopes to spend the rest of his career as a Cincinnati Bengal. Those are good things. Jermaine Burton, are we going to see some of him tonight? We get all three of them out there. That's the second version of the Migos, or third version of the Migos.
Well, without T. Higgins, we're going to see less of Burton. I mean,
You don't think he's
with T. Higgins,
He's
we're
got,
gonna see less
he's
of
got a
Burrow.
shot at being number 3. Him and Yoshi could
I
play
think he
some time.
does, but they've been going to Yoshi a lot more. I don't think we're going to see Burton this week. But T. Higgins being back is a giant weapon that we've been missing. And that's going to give Burrow more opportunities, more people to go to. T. Higgins is one of those guys. You throw that ball up, you high point that. There's no defending that guy. He's like 6'11", 6'24", or whatever.
24. But I think it's though, like, just get T. Higgins out there. That takes you can't double Jamar. You can't really double anybody.
Well, you can, but you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, big time. And that to me, this could be a big game for Jamar. I think he's put the contract situation out of his mind, and I think he's sick of the 0-2, and I think he's going to ball out tonight. I really do think we're having a big game from Jamar tonight.
I think we got to get the ball to Jamar more, because that's been my main thing these last 2 games. I felt like we're not getting it in his hands, whether that's Burrow just not deciding he's open, whether that is Jamar maybe not getting that separation he normally does. Maybe that's just a play calling not going that way. Maybe it's just not the scheme that we're going with the walkthroughs, whatever. I'm going to let someone more adept in football than I decide that. But either way, I think that a key to the game is going to be, I think Jamar's got to get more involved. Whatever the problem is there, we got to fix that, because all I know is when Jamar Chase pops off, this team blows any team out.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like if you just look at Jamar Chase's stats and you say, okay, this game he did amazing, this game he did amazing, this game he did amazing, and then the rest of the team played out of their mind every one of those games. Like Jamar is the linchpin there, and we got to get him going. Whatever that takes. Again, someone smarter than me is going to figure that out. More football minded than me is going to figure that out. But he's got to get moving. Get more touchdowns, get more yards, and then prove exactly why he deserves that money. Because I think we all know he does, but he's got to keep showing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll give him that money.
And just to let you guys know, if you're watching online, we are down here at the Moerlein Lager House, the Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell pregame experience. We're doing this every Bengals home game, and then I'll be back down here tomorrow night for my live show, which I gotta get my graphics here for people on the internet. Live sports talk tomorrow night at Moerlein Lager House from 6 to 8. The happy hour goes from 3 to 9. We got $5 drafts, house wines, and well drinks, and $2 off appetizers. So it's going to be an absolute blast. Corey Dillon, like I said, I love the dude. He is my dude, and unfortunately, he is not going to be able to be here tonight because he has to be at the stadium at 5:15. We're still having a great time down here, with or without him. Everybody's out having an awesome time down here, drinking, eating, talking football. Chandler, with the Ravens, excuse me, that's custom my own show. The Ratbirds, they won yesterday.
Unfortunately,
the Browns lost. I'm not trying to give the Ratbirds credit or anything, but the Bengals and the Ratbirds were the 2 best 0-2 teams in the league. Are you by the end of this? I've said this, by the end of November, I think those 2 are going to be 1-2. By the time we get to the end of November, what's your thoughts on that?
that's probably true. If you looked at the Ravens yesterday, Derrick Henry, it seemed like they figured him out.
They finally gave him the ball.
Yeah, well, like these first 2 games with the Ravens, Derrick Henry was underutilized, and it just seemed like they weren't creating opportunities for him. He looked almost worse than he did with the Titans, which was crazy to me because everyone knows the Ravens are such a running forward team. But last night it looked like they figured it out, and that's a little scary, especially with how much we've struggled against the run this year. So I don't think that our luck is going to change against the Ravens this year. I think we're going to have to win games that aren't against them. Unfortunately, they just stack up so well against us. I mean, very well. And it's even worse this year. But like you didn't mention out of the AFC North, the Steelers.
I was about to go there. That's my next thing.
3-0.
And all right, not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but we're hanging out at Midwest Best last night with Corey Dillon and TJ Hushmanzada, and Hush had a great point. He said Pittsburgh defense is elite, and I hate to say that, but he's right. And they are playing Pittsburgh football. Run the ball, play defense. Quarterback doesn't make any bad decisions, and so far it's working. And it's worked out, for the last 20 years for them. That's basically been their whole scheme. So, but I asked TJ this. I said the second half of the Steelers' schedule is a gauntlet. He goes, well, on paper it is. but you don't know how those teams are going to be once they get there. So I still think it's coming down to the Bengals and the Ravens, but unfortunately, you can never count out the Steelers. And somebody said this last night. You go there, like, I hope the Steelers win about 6 games, and that's it. 6, 7 games. That way, they're always in the middle of the pack. They never get a number 1 quarterback. They never get a really good. They're all just even, and it's okay. You guys can have a winning season every year, and we'll go win the Super Bowl.
I think if we keep along this wishful thinking, then maybe. But unfortunately, it looks like they might be the real deal. I don't know if they're a Super Bowl team, but they're definitely in a point where they're going to cause some trouble for us. And we got to play them twice every year. So that's a problem. They're playing some Mike Tomlin football, which the Bengals seem to always struggle against. No matter who's at QB, no matter who, honestly, the whole team's made of.
Right.
They struggle with it. It's dirty football. But
it ain't great. It's boring football, too.
Yeah.
Way boring.
It works. It puts points on the board and stops the other team from doing the same thing. So I'd be worried about them. I'm not counting them out. And honestly, at this point, I'd say until I see some consistency from the Ravens and from Lamar Jackson, I'm more worried about the Steelers than I am the Ravens.
I don't know. I was more worried about the Ratbirds.
Going into the season, I'd agree.
Yeah, but then talking to TJ last night, I'm like, oh, he actually made a point. So, but did you see this? What Ghetto Baby here says? He says Jermaine Burton touchdown value is booked. It's crazy, plus 750. So,
I think that's about right.
I think that's a pretty good bet. He goes deep. He might get one tonight. That's what we need.
I don't know, how many snaps has he played in the last 2 games?
3, I think.
Yeah,
and one of them was a really big bomb, which was a really great play.
3 snaps in 2 weeks. So he's averaging 1.5 snaps a game, and you're going to put anytime touchdown score on him. I mean, yeah, it's plus 750 seems about right. I mean, that's pretty unlikely.
We'll see. All right, guys. Once again, we're down here at Moerlein Lager House. Come on down. We're having a great time. We're doing this every Bengals home game, all the way to the Super Bowl. I don't know if I get to go to the Super Bowl.
We'll be at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, no, the Bengals are going to go. I don't know if I'm going to go, but hopefully we'll go. And we're here tonight celebrating my dude, caught killing Corey Dillon, going into the Ring of Honor tonight. Chandler, you've met Corey here, and I know you. And this is what I think would be interesting. I know you did not watch him play. I think you were 6 when he retired. So, from what I've told you and what you've seen on videos and stuff, what's your thought? And since you know the man, what's your thoughts of Corey Dillon?
I have definitely seen more of him in person than I ever have on TV or the internet or anything. So honestly, I haven't seen that much of his football except for there's a bar downtown here. They have
Wait, NFL, you went to a bar?
Yes, they have NFL
Shocking.
Blitz 2000 down there. Every time Corey Dillon's the kick returner. Did he actually do that? I don't know. He's a kick returner in NFL
when
Blitz.
he first started.
Oh yeah, he's
like
great. He's great at being a kick returner. So the 2000s equivalent of Madden, I guess he's fantastic. But as a guy, I think he's awesome. I mean, everything everyone says about him, I feel like everyone's got an opinion about the guy. Most opinionated, polarizing person in the Bengals fandom. But anyone who says anything bad about him is just flat wrong. He's a great guy, really humble guy, and he loves this fan base. Despite whatever happened in the past, he's looking past that. I'm sure if you look back 20 years ago at yourself, well, unless you're 20 about like me, if you look back at yourself 20 years ago, I'm sure you had a lot you regretted too.
Right,
things you could have done better, but Corey's a great guy, and he definitely deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. That's for sure.
Now we get him in the Ring of Honor. The next step is Canton. We got to get him in the Hall of Fame. First, we got to get Willie Anderson in the Hall of Fame, and hopefully this year Willie gets in. If Willie doesn't get in this year, I was mad last year. He didn't get in. He's the best right tackle of his era. I don't care what anybody says. Willie Anderson is the best right tackle of his era. I have no idea why he hasn't got in yet. He should get in.
It's that Bengals effect, which is the
bias.
Negative effect of your Steelers and.
But I think that's all right. I think they played on bad teams, but they had great careers. I think that should be the opposite.
No, I mean, you're right, but it's just not what happens because we live in a stupid world where everything's stupid. The NFL's stupid, and they make terrible new kickoff decisions that result in barely less touchbacks. I love this. Just a slight tangent. I love how Sunday Night Football and all these things, they're like, oh my gosh, look at this. There's 10% more kickoffs being returned right now. Woo! And it's like, they're just all it's supposed to be a penalty when you intentionally don't return a touchdown. Like traditional football is we kick the ball to you and you run it. But now it's, look, now there's 38% getting run back when before it was 28%. Like we need to make the kickoffs in a way that every time you're going to run it back or it's a penalty, like it hurts you to not run it back or it hurts you to kick it out of bounds. Side note, that just annoys the hell out of me.
So you're not a new kickoff rule fan here?
No, I like the new kickoff rule. I just think it needs to be a lot more penalizing because the fact that teams are making it, they're still just doing the same old, it's a decision whether or not we want to intentionally take a penalty or not.
Right.
That shouldn't be part of the game.
Right.
I think we need more football, which means someone carrying the ball and other guys trying to kill him.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean a coach intentionally taking a penalty for whatever. That's not football to me.
All right, so I got a question for everybody in here and everybody online. Does anybody have any score predictions for tonight's game? I mean, we got like 27-14, 27-7. I don't think anybody's actually listening to us.
These guys.
27-17. All right, there you go. 27-7. We got any other predictions for tonight's game? Bengals by 100? Bengals by 1,000? Anything like that? They're all enjoying their drinks and stuff here. But give me your predictions there. Rick the Rock here says, Mims looks like will play if needed. Love to see him steamroll the Washington defense. There you go. Rick the Rock's got one. He's got a 55-0 Bengals. I like that.
All right. Yeah, I'll tail that bet.
Yeah, sounds good. Kane says, good guys, 31-17.
That's a high-scoring game.
Yeah. Now
31's pretty high.
I am excited about Mims. I can't wait to see him actually play. I don't know. Well, I think they're going to get him in slowly, because you and me were talking about that before we went on there. That I think they're going to gradually put him in more and more packages to get him ready to play. There you go. Donald Cook, 24-17.
Hey, I know that guy.
I know that guy too. He better say Bengals.
But we know. It's not the Broncos. He's normally a Broncos fan, but we know.
Don's usually a Broncos fan. But yeah, I could see them putting. They talk about putting packages in for Mims and getting him used to the NFL. Because I mean, let's be honest,
he looked good in preseason.
He looked good in preseason, but he didn't play a lot of games in college, and he hasn't. And he looked really good in preseason. I think if he hadn't gotten hurt, I think he would be starting.
When you are as much of a freak of nature that he is, which
right.
I'm not, so I'm not speaking from experience, but just
I thought you were.
How massive, how strong that guy is. I mean, I don't know how much the experience really plays into it. I mean, I think we're really downplaying this guy's. I don't know what his RAS score was, like the actual raw athletic score that they give him at the draft at the combine. But just looking at the guy, I mean, he's almost built like your Myles Garrett's of the world, which obviously the other side of the line. But he's built that same way where you look at the guy and you're like, are you real? Like you are like, right. What the heck? And so when I look at a guy like that, I just think there's it looks like I'm getting replaced here.
No, you're not. Just sit down.
No, it's cool because I actually have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, there you go.
You know what, Neil? You can take over for me. There
you go. All right, everybody. Thanks, Chandler, for coming on. Neil Meyer here from Rivals.com. He's a big Bearcat beat writer here, but we got him for the Bengals now. Neil, what's your thoughts on the game tonight? How the Bengals are going to look, and are they going to get out? Are they going to go and win the rest of the game the rest of the year? Which is what I think.
Yeah, overall on the game tonight, I think it's safe to say that this is a game that they should win pretty easily.
Should. But
it all comes down to if you stop the run,
yep.
Can you control Jaden Daniels in the run game?
That's the thing that scares me is our run because I don't think B.J. Hill is playing. I don't think Rankins is playing.
Yeah, so if they can stop the run game and find a way to control Jaden Daniels, Austin Eckler, if they can stop the run game, I think they're in great hands. I'm really excited to see the matchup of Terry McLaurin versus Cam Taylor-Britt. I think that's a great matchup to keep an eye on. But overall, I think this is a game the Bengals should win by at least 7 points, cover the spread.
Right.
But there's no reason this shouldn't be a 2-touchdown game at the end of the night.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, the best way to play defenses have a good offense. We get out there, start fast, get up by 2 scores. They can't run the ball. Then they got to try to throw it and come back. That to me, that's what I think. That's the key to the game because how thin we are at the defensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's always key too for Cincinnati to stop the run. But for Washington, on the other hand, Austin Eckler is a pass catching back. So if you can find ways to contain him out of the backfield and slow down the run game between him and Brian Robinson, I think you're in great hands. Make Jaden Daniels throw the ball.
Yes.
If you can make him throw the ball, you're in great hands because this Cincinnati defense, they'll give you pressure on the edges between Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson.
Trey was a beast. He was a game wrecker last week.
But you have to find a way to get to the backfield and really wrap Jalen Daniels up while you're back there. If you can't contain him in the backfield, he'll beat you with his legs. But if you can get the opportunity to get him down to the ground, might as well take it, right?
Exactly. Now, what's your thoughts on our run game? Because I'm really hoping to see Chase Brown used a little bit more, put him in the position to make more explosive plays. We talked about this on Tuesday's show, how it'd be great to see him out there on some screens, some bubble screens, stuff like that, and get him out space and get him use his speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Me personally, I would love to see more of Chase Brown.
Yes.
Zach Moss is your pass catching back, but overall, they got to find a way to get the run game going. It's been kind of, I wouldn't say non-existent.
It got better last week.
It got better
it
the
still
second
needs
week.
to get improved. More.
But they have to find a way to get that run game going. Obviously, you let Joe Mixon walk in free agency. You bring in Zach Moss, who had a couple good seasons in Indy. But, I mean, you think about the situation he was in last year. Jonathan Taylor was out all year. So he had the opportunity to shine there in Indy. But I haven't been too impressed with him yet too far. But they have to find a way to get the run game going. Obviously, if they can get Armarius Mims back tonight on the offensive line, they're alongside Trent Brown, Orlando Brown up front there for Cincinnati. I think it's huge to get the run game going tonight.
Yes, yeah. And they we were talking about it before he came on. I think they're going to put Mims in different packages, try to get his feet wet, try to get him used to the speed of the NFL and everything. And I think that starts tonight. Now the other thing is, how often do you think they're going to go 12 personnel again this year or this game? I happen to think it's going to be a lot because I love Eric All and I love Gesicki. I think that those guys are going to be game changers. Drew Sample is just a hell of a blocker. I mean, those guys out there, you put Alt and Gesicki on the line and you run with them, dude, that's a dominant offensive line beyond and 12. But what's your thoughts on the tight ends and going in 12 personnel again tonight?
Me personally, I'm the biggest fan of 12 personnel. I think it's something that always utilizes teams utilize that to their advantage. And I mean, I've seen it from my years covering UC.
Yep.
And what 12 personnel was able to do. I mean, I saw it from 2020 to 2023.
Right.
And it led them to a college football playoff. But anytime you can get 2 tight ends there, not only Drew Sample's a fantastic blocker. I think that's what really earned him that new contract was his ability to go out there and get you a block on the end.
I keep talking about the pancake block he made. That was ridiculous. That's an offensive lineman block that he made.
Right. And then Eric Gall, now completely healthy. Obviously, this was a guy who had so much upside during his time at Michigan. He gets healthy, goes to Iowa, tears his ACL. Now that he's back ahead of schedule, he came back, made immediate impact last week. I think the sky's the limit for Eric Gall. But overall, Mike Gesicki's coming off a career game versus last week for Cincinnati versus Kansas City. I think you can build off of that. 12 personnel is going to be so huge in this personnel because not only will it take pressure off of Joe Burrow, but it will allow you to get the run game going as well. And everybody knows once you get the run game going, it's going to open things up for the air game between T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Yossi Vash. And then you have Jermaine Burton, who could be your deep threat
That's
playmaker.
what I'm saying. I hope they use
so
him
you
tonight.
have a lot of playmakers there on the offensive side of the ball, but 12 personnel is going to be a big thing there.
Yeah. Now, Hunter here is asking, is Von Bell active tonight? I have not heard. I have to look up on the internet, but I have not heard if he's active or not. I know he left practice with a little back stiffness or whatever. So we'll see. And if he's not, then Jordan Battle's got to step up and start making some plays again because and I love Jordan Battle, but he didn't get a lot of snaps last week, which was surprising to me. And tonight might be the night for him to step up and make some plays here. So it'll be interesting to see if Bell plays or not. Again, I don't know. I have to look it up to find out. But with that being said, how concerned are you? Because we both said we want to stop the run and make them throw the ball. How concerned are you if Bell doesn't play with that secondary? Are you still pretty confident that we can stop Jaden Daniels from throwing the ball?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fairly confident that, obviously, from a guy who covers college football pretty extensively, the key is you want to make Jaden Daniels throw the ball.
Right.
You don't want him to beat you with your legs. In a game like this in prime time where Cincinnati's defensive line is banged up, he could take advantage of that and really make you pay with his legs. That's a dual threat quarterback at his finest. He won the Heisman a year ago. But overall, I think this is a game where Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard can really make a huge impact. If they can find a way to get to the backfield and make Jaden Daniels throw the ball, I mean, outside of Terry McLaurin, who are they going to throw to?
Right, exactly. It should be.
And the way Cam Taylor-Britt's playing right now,
dude.
It's going to be really hard to get anything going offensively.
That interception he had last week was ridiculous. And everybody keeps talking about the one he got burned on. Well, if you watch it, replay and watch that play, he slowed down, and then he sped up, and he still almost knocked that ball away. If Cam didn't slow down, I guess he thought they weren't throwing the ball or whatever. They're not making that. He's not making that catch. Right. So I mean, that Cam Taylor-Britt is our number one cornerback. You can call him Britt Juice Island, whatever you want to call him. I think he's becoming that guy for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, people forget too that the guy who threw that ball is arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Like Patrick Mahomes threw that ball on a rope. Cam Taylor-Britt was not far from making a pass breakup on that. And people forget about that, but that was just a perfectly thrown ball from Mahomes. Like, he threw that thing on a rope. But overall, the interception he had, Jeff, like, I don't think people realize how difficult of an interception that was.
He didn't even lean on the guy. He just reached up and snatched it.
It gave me Odell-esque vibes.
Yes.
He literally caught that thing like 4 fingers.
It was ridiculous, dude. It was one of the greatest catches I've ever seen live. Actually, it was the greatest catch I've ever seen live.
And I think people forget that, too. Like, obviously, Cam Taylor-Britt is still growing to be the player he is today.
Right.
But to go out and make a play like that versus Kansas City in that moment when the game is online, that was a huge momentum turn in that game. To get that pick, to come in, Cincinnati builds momentum off it, and then things don't go quite their way. But while we're here talking about this game, Jeff, that pass interference versus the Chiefs, last night's was a lot worse.
Thank you. We were talking about that earlier.
A lot worse. And I love my guy Brian Cook, but that was a lot worse.
I love Brian Cook. He's a Bearcat, but I hate him because he plays with the Chiefs now. But he did not look. He did not turn his head. He just tackled the guy. And the reference right there. How in the hell is that not pass interference? And our bang play, they call it the throw flag. I mean, it's ridiculous. And
last night was more obvious than what it was for Cincinnati. Last night was more obvious. But in the way, if you're not going to call it for the Chiefs, then you got to let it against us. Why call it against us? You got to let it play.
And
you got to let it play out.
All these Chiefs fans go, oh, well, I've seen their trust me, my Twitter's been blowing up about it. They go, oh, what about this? What about this? There's other stuff. I'm going, all right. So, let's put it this way. On that same play, what about the 2 holds that Chiefs had on the Bengals during that play that they didn't call? So it's not even, you didn't have to call, make that play. You could have thrown that flag or throw both flags and it's offsetting and you redo the play over. Why is that so hard to figure out?
Yeah, I don't understand how that was so hard to figure out because honestly, there were so many fouls on that play in the end. Like, it might have been pass interference. I'm still going to say DeJuan Anthony was there just a slight bit early. But when your offensive line or your defensive lineman has his helmet literally ripped off, I don't know what else to say about that.
The hold was more egregious than that pass interference.
Right, absolutely. It should have been offside penalties. And what was that? 4th down, you make them go from there, and then it could be a different ball game.
Totally different ball game, meaning the Bengals win. And we're 1-1 instead of 0-2. But I mean, and that's the one thing I really wish that the NFL would try to address, because it is a real thing. We're not the only team that says the Chiefs get all the flack, get all the calls. I mean, I saw a stat where 17 of Patrick Mahomes' 18 career interceptions or whatever it is have gotten called back for pass interference. I'm like, why is that? And they're all iffy, and they always go toward the Chiefs. They always go toward Patrick Mahomes. That's why people think, oh, this is scripted. And then I'm always like, no, it's not. But then it's like, damn it, why do the flags always go in the Chiefs' direction every single time? It's just annoying.
And what was that stat that came out with Patrick Mahomes throwing interceptions? First, I don't know if it was first drive, but Patrick Mahomes turning the ball over when there's a flag on the field and that gets wiped off. I mean, it's not hard to see the pass interference, but it's like some kind of way you kind of got to see like, okay, the Chiefs are getting this out
a little bit. You got to even this out a little bit.
Yeah, even this out a little bit, especially in a high rivalry match like that. Like Cincinnati has been the only AFC team to go into Arrowhead Stadium and really compete with the Chiefs for the last, 4 or 5 years?
I mean, they should have won last week.
Yeah, absolutely. They should have won.
I mean, we were in the game with them with Jake Browning. Everybody's like, oh, they blow us out. No. We didn't get blown out. We got beat. They beat us, but we were in the game with Jake Browning. So the Bengals are not scared to play the Chiefs at all. That's why I call it Burrowhead. I'll continue to call it Burrowhead because I ain't scared and they ain't scared, and nobody should be scared of the Chiefs because, especially Bengals fans, because we can beat them. We've done it before, and we're going to do it again. It's going to happen this year in the playoffs, AFC Championship game. I don't know, but it's going to happen as long as Joe Burrow stays healthy. Jackpot Joey stays healthy. We're going to win. What?
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that. If Joe Burrow stays healthy for this Bengals team, I think it's safe to say that this is a playoff caliber team and a team that could go on and win this whole thing.
Absolutely.
But they have to stay healthy. Obviously, the main question was this offseason, find a way to protect Joe Burrow. That's why they drafted Armarius Mims in the first round. Exactly. Now, if he is active tonight, they'll be able to find a way to not only have that depth there on the offensive line, but it gives them the opportunity where you could throw multiple people into multiple different positions. But I think the biggest priority is if you can protect Joe Burrow and let him get the pass game going, it's going to open a lot of things up. And let's be honest, Jeff, not many people are going to stop T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
No.
Not many teams.
And then if you add Burton to that, oh, dude.
Not even Burton. Andre Yosivas has had a great start to this season. And anytime you can get the tight ends involved too. Mike Gesicki, everybody knows the playmaker he is. He's a big body tight end, but he runs like a wide receiver. So if you can get him out there and you can find ways to get him involved in this offense, which Cincinnati did last weekend, and for some odd reason, Mike Gesicki has had a great career versus Kansas City. So hopefully he can build off of that heading into this Monday night's game versus Washington. But looking forward on tonight, Jeff, there's no reason that Cincinnati should not win this game, arguably by at least 10 points. There's no reason to.
Exactly. There's no reason. I mean, this game tonight, look, we are having the Ring of Honor game. We're inducting Clock Killer Corey Dillon, the Dillinator. We're inducting one of the baddest dudes around, Tim Krumrie. We're having a party here at the Moerlein Lager House, Mercedes-Benz, Fort Mitchell. Moerlein Lager House pregame experience. This should be a party tonight. We should have no problems of beating this team because we are that much better. Now, the only thing that caveat to that is injuries with the defensive line, if Bell's out, if he's out or in or whatever. Still, if our offense if this is the jumping off point to where our offense is, and you just keep building on top of that, we should be up by 2 scores by halftime.
Absolutely. And there's no reason Cincinnati shouldn't be up by 2 scores at halftime, especially with how Washington has played this year. Jaden Daniels I thought he was overrated coming out. That's why he transferred from Arizona State to LSU.
Right.
He goes on to win the Heisman, which is great and all, but it's like, how will he correlate to the NFL? He hasn't seen a defensive line yet this season, like Sam Hubbard, like Trey Hendrickson. And Trey Hendrickson is arguably top 5, top 3 defensive linemen in all of the NFL.
He doesn't get the props I think he deserves. Everybody keeps talking about T.J. Watt. Which, don't get me wrong, I hate T.J. Watt, but he's a great player. He is. Trey Hendrickson is like T.J. Watt to be up here. Trey Hendrickson is like
Trey Hendrickson
there.
Is not getting the credit.
He never does.
Not getting the credit he deserves. And I mean, you look at what he's been able to do. I mean, Pro Bowler last year, Pro Bowler the year before. I mean, there's a reason Cincinnati paid him the money that they did coming into 2022, and the reason that he is fighting for that contract extension. But Trey Hendrickson is arguably one of the best defensive linemen within the NFL, defensive edge rushers. And it is showing week in and week out that he is such a crucial part. And, Jeff, I don't think people give credit to Trey Hendrickson, but Trey Hendrickson is basically the unsung hero of this defensive unit so far.
I mean, I remember when we signed him, I had no idea who he was. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. They got somebody good. And it's like, holy crap, we got somebody not good. We got somebody really good. I mean, he has made such improvement every single year. And I understand he's a little upset about his contract, but he outplayed his contract, but he also did that after he signed an extension last year. So it's kind of it's on him, but it's not on him because that's the way the contract is. He'll get his money afterwards. I mean, we got, I think, one of the best bargains in the NFL with Trey Hendrickson with the money we're paying him.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a reason why Trey Hendrickson is fighting for that contract extension.
Right.
And people don't realize that like Trey Hendrickson is playing the best ball of his career. And I mean, anytime you get a defensive lineman that produces that success rate, it's a huge staple. And I mean, Sam Hubbard has been playing the best ball of his career as of late. Then you pair that alongside with Trey Hendrickson. I mean, Cincinnati has two of the top, what would you say, Jeff, 15, 20 defensive edge rushers?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
In all of the NFL. But Trey Hendrickson is a top 5, maybe top 3 defensive edge rusher. And there's a reason he's fighting for that extension. And I mean, he's a game changer on all different aspects of this game. And hopefully tonight, Jeff, I'm going to say he gets 1.5 sacks tonight.
Hey, I'm down for that. And hopefully the Bengals just go out there and dominate, and we can have a great, great time. Again, if you guys are watching online, I appreciate it. We are down here at the Moerlein Lager House, Mercedes-Benz at Fort Mitchell Moerlein Lager House pregame experience. We're doing this every Bengals home game. Neil's not going to be here this Tuesday, but he's usually with me on Tuesdays as we're down here for live sports talk from 6 to 8 every Tuesday. A happy hour goes from 3 to 9. We have $5 drafts, house wines, well drinks, and $2 off appetizer. It's an awesome time. We're having a great time. Like, this is something that we're starting, and it's going to get better and better and better. For this event here, it's only $75, and two of the greatest words in history of the English language is open bar. When I say open bar, I mean open bar. Are you guys enjoying the open bar? All right. So you can get anything you want down here. So come on down. They got a delicious spread for the food and everything. It's an awesome time. So if you're not here this home game, come down next home game. It's going to be a great time. All right, let's get the man. Can we get Matty Myers up here for a little bit to talk? Let's get the. You can stay here. You can hang out for a little while. We'll get Matt. Let's welcome Matty Myers, the originator of the Jackpot Joey brand here. And Matty, here, just take this mic here. Who day, Matty?
Who day?
All right, so here, let me give you your belt here because you actually got this for Corey. So let's throw this up there. So do me a favor. Talk a little bit about what Corey has meant to you as far as how we've gotten to know him the last couple of years and what kind of player he was going, because we watched him play. What's the first thing you think of when you think of Corey Dillon?
Corey Dillon tried hard on every play. Not just some plays, every play.
Exactly.
Tried hard on every play, whether it was blocking, running, receiving the ball. He was a true, I'm going to try hard on every play.
He's a beast.
He was a beast. He was a beast, plain and simple.
Yep. Best running back in Bengals history. And I love James Brooks. And I love Ickey Woods. I love all those guys. But when you have to go through what Corey did with sacking the box over and over and over again and knowing you're going to run the ball and you still can't stop him.
There was a lot of games they had 8, 9 guys in the box and couldn't stop him. After they knew he was going to run it.
Right.
The one specific story, and I don't our quarterback was 2 for 14.
Right.
They knew that was the Denver game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They knew we were going to run the ball 278 yards.
Exactly.
With 8 or 9 guys in the box.
That's what he ended up with right there. So.
And just honestly, Corey Dillon went out of his way this weekend to be a good friend to you.
And you.
And me.
Yeah.
And the Project Game Day. So I couldn't say enough nice things about Corey.
Corey is an awesome dude.
He's been fantastic for us.
No. T. Brooks, I do. James Brooks was really good. I do. I was alive. He was. He didn't have to go through the 8-man box.
James Brooks was good.
And then James Brooks' 1986 season was unbelievable. And I'm not saying that anything against the slight James Brooks. He was unbelievable.
James Brooks never blocked anybody in his life, pretty much.
Corey
blocked a lot of guys.
Yeah, Corey could do anything. So Corey was unbelievable.
Blocked a lot of guys.
So, Matty, what's your prediction for tonight? You think we're going to winning streak tonight?
I'm going to say 24-10. I think we're going to get off to a good start and cruise to one tonight. We're actually going to get to enjoy a game.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Matt's going with the low scoring game.
No, what's that?
That sounds good to me.
Defensive minded game.
I mean, if we give up 14 points, we're going to beat a lot of teams.
Yeah.
That should. I feel like our defense is going to play big tonight.
I hope so. They're going.
I hope so too.
I want the offense to get out there and do great. Anyway, guys.
I hope they win because Trent Irwin told me to go fishing with me in Cape Breton on Thursday on the bye week if they win their game.
That's all that matters.
Right.
The priorities are straight.
I'm going to get a bow and arrow in his hands before the season's over.
There you go. All right, guys. Once again, we're down here at the Moerlein Logger House.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Take it easy, Matty. Appreciate you, man. We're down here at Moerlein Logger House.
Okay, your dad.
Okay.
We'll mail that.
Okay. All right. Again, we're down here at Moerlein Logger House, the Mercedes-Benz former pregame party. We're having an awesome time down here. We're going to end this thing because it's getting loud. It's getting crazy down here. We got to do with it. Hey, can I get a hootie?
Hootie!
Can I get a hootie? Hootie! You guys should come on down next time. We're having a great time again. I'm Strawberry Ice. We're down here at Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moerlein Logger House pregame experience. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
They still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Hey, don't run that ball on the one Hubbard, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Plus we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. And we always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say he open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Giuseppe in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi second year, we just brought Burton in. Von back to ring some bells.